With some big games opening the year, 2019 is looking pretty good so far with no shortage of exciting things to play. Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally coming out, on top of the Switch getting more great releases, and I can already feel my backlog growing as it was hard to pick out just 10 confirmed releases from all the ones I'm excited about this year. So to celebrate the good year that it looks like 2019 is shaping up to be with its great upcoming releases, these are the 10 JRPGs I'm most excited about that are coming out this year. While it might be a long way off its originally announced release date, Kingdom Hearts 3 will finally grace us with its presence this year, and since it's looking better than ever in its recent trailers, I can hardly wait. The last Kingdom Hearts game I played in full was Kingdom Hearts 2, and it's probably been over 10 years since I finished it, so it'll be crazy to have a new one on PS4 looking slick and modern, and I'm really excited to get back into its world. I loved hacking away at its big enemies and its active system, along with its story that goes well beyond just putting a bunch of Disney and Final Fantasy characters in the same universe with plenty of its own lore. So much in fact that it's easy to have missed things if you've only finished the main two like I have. But the story was also compelling nonetheless, and I'm sure the third game will get me emotional like the first two did, since its nostalgic trailers already have. Kingdom Hearts 3 is one of the biggest JRPG releases this year, and one I definitely don't want to miss, so I hope it'll live up to its long-lasting hype, and until then, I'll be watching its Face My Fears opening trailer a bunch of times to tide me over until this new entry in the series is in my hands. Code Vein was another game that was supposed to be one of the big ones in 2018 that eventually got pushed back to this year and has been fairly quiet recently, with the developers apparently hard at work preparing to give us an update. But before its delay, Code Vein's many trailers showed a game that looked like it was shaping up nicely, so it's still high on my list of JRPGs I'm looking forward to this year. I still haven't played a Soulsborne game, as I said in last year's video of anticipated JRPGs, and the anime aesthetic makes me feel more comfortable giving that kind of challenging game a try, and I also like how its dramatic story moments in its trailers make the story seem like it has more depth than just vampires and blood gathering, so I hope we hear more about it soon. It has the vague release window of sometime in 2019, so hopefully we see it this year, and I hope they do something like a release date trailer to show what they've been working on to get everyone excited for this game again. If you've watched my recent videos, you probably know that thanks to the Atelier Arland Deluxe Pack, I've been on an Atelier kick recently, and now that I've played the original trilogy, I'm so excited we're getting Atelier Lulua as a 4th entry in the Arland series. The Arland trilogy had a bunch of enjoyable characters in it, and with Lulua being the daughter of Verona, the time difference between this game and the others is sure to make for some interesting events detailing what the old characters have been up to, along with the new ones like Lulua that look lovely with Mel Kishida's great art that should be fun to get to know too. The game kinda looks like a mix between what I loved about Atelier Lydian Soul and the Arland trilogy from its first trailer. The visual update and alchemy system look more like the modern ones in Lydian Soul, while also showing some areas that I remember from the Arland trilogy, and I'm curious to see what's both new and added from the Arland world when it comes out. At the moment, it's announced for spring 2019 in the West and late March in Japan, so hopefully we'll see more trailers for it leading up to it. But for now, I'm already looking forward to revisiting Arland again in a more modern Atelier game. For the past few years, the main Digimon games around have been the Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth ones, and while those were great, the upcoming Digimon game called Digimon Survive has also got me curious since it's so different from them. Stepping away from the MMO setting, Digimon Survive instead is said to focus on a group of teenagers who find themselves lost in a new world full of the monsters we know as Digimon, with the story and ending being influenced by choices made throughout the story. It also looks like more of a strategy RPG as opposed to Cyber Sleuth's turn-based system, and the anime-style artwork gives it a unique look that stands out with how beautiful it is, and altogether looks like a refreshingly new way to battle with Digimon again. As much as I love the other Digimon games, I like that they're trying something new with Survive, and with what seems like it might be taking some of the more darker ideas from its other games, I'm curious to see if it'll be as interesting as it looks when it comes out. Since it's made by members of the team that made Danganronpa, when the Japanese demo of Zanki 0 came out, I had to try it to see what it was, and I was very glad that I did, as it has plenty of intriguing ideas like I'd expect from the team. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, the story follows the 8 remaining members of humanity, who also happen to be clones, in their journey to find out why they're the ones left as they explore the ruins of the world to find out what happened, while also looking at their own personal sins. This is already a unique premise, but what got me even more interested when I played was how your characters age as you go through dungeons, along with the interesting Shigabane system where you can revive one of the clones that have died and get a bonus for how it happened, whether it's dying in battle or at the end of the clone's 13-day life cycle. Seeing how interesting the game seemed in its first chapter, and it being by people who made another series I love so much, has given me a good amount of interest in this title, and I can't wait to pick it up to play with its unique systems and slowly unraveling mystery and what looks like it'll be another great effort from the team. I actually had Caligula or Overdose on my list last year because it came out in Japan and I was excited for it, but since it was in Japanese I ended up leaving it alone between English releases, and I'm kind of glad I did as it'll be out in English this year. Even a year later, I'm still interested in seeing what this game set in a fake ideal high school with an idol will be like, particularly since it's written by the writer of Persona 2, and I love the general aesthetic of the game, along with the fact that the Overdose version lets you choose if you want to play as a boy or a girl. Its more recent trailers have made the Overdose version look pretty good compared to its old ones, too. I remember seeing frame rate jumps in the quick flashes of gameplay in older trailers, and can't see that at all in the newer ones, so I can now appreciate the interesting looking gameplay, and I hope that this means that the Overdose version fixes up some of its previous problems and makes it a better game overall. A small problem with it is that it's coming out very close to Zanki 0, and I'm probably a bit more excited for that at the moment. However, Caligula Overdose is still a game I'd like to try sometime this year, and I really hope that this new version makes it worth doing. Despite the Japanese version still being on my phone, I haven't touched SINoALICE for a long time, as the Yoko Taro directed story is one I wanted to understand properly and go slowly with. I shouldn't have to go too slowly anymore though, with the announcement that SINoALICE will be coming to the West supposedly in the first quarter of this year. With dark twists on famous fairy tales in its story, I had always hoped that this would get a localization, as I think people would find it interesting, especially since it's another Yoko Taro game. And now that it is, I'm hoping we get lots of the great events and features that were in the Japanese version, such as its Nier Automata collaborations and the many different jobs that can vary the appearance of its gorgeous characters, alongside more gorgeous compositions from composer Keiichi Okabe. While I'm playing more console games than smartphone ones right now, I would absolutely try SINoALICE in English to witness another strange Yoko Taro made world, and I look forward to properly learning the systems I enjoyed spending time with in its Japanese version. The Nintendo Direct in September last year saw a bunch of Final Fantasy games announced to be coming to Nintendo Switch, so this year, if there's a chance, I would love to jump into another Final Fantasy game on my favorite portable. There's supposed to be Final Fantasy X and X-2 coming mid-April, along with Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age coming towards the end, and then Final Fantasy VII and IX are supposed to come to the console at some point this year as well, plus spin-off games like Crystal Chronicles and Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. This is way more than one Final Fantasy game for this list, however, I'll probably only get time to play one of these. So with that in mind, Final Fantasy XII or Final Fantasy VII would be the two I'd hope to play, depending on their release dates. To be honest, I've never played Final Fantasy VII, as I started my Final Fantasy journey from 10, so I'd love to try it on Switch since things have been pretty quiet in terms of its remake. I've also, however, played a lot of Final Fantasy XII on PS2 and a little on PS4, and already know I like it, so I'd like to finish that too, but I'd be more than happy to finish either at this point. This quest will largely depend on how it lines up with other release dates for me, but I did have a lot of fun replaying World of Final Fantasy in 2018, so hopefully I can get some kind of time with the series this year as well. Death End Request was a game I always thought had a cool visual style, but had never really properly looked into, at least until my boyfriend was playing it in Japanese recently and I saw how interesting it is. It's set around a game director called Sheena that becomes trapped in her own MMO, and the programmer from the same company called Arata that tries to get her out, with different possible endings in the story becoming available as you make choices throughout the plot, which also sees you trying to help Sheena complete her own game with a perfect ending. I usually enjoy games with a set in an MMO premise, and this one has a pretty unique twist on it, along with its turn-based system that allows you to do things ranging from sending enemies flying into your other character's positions to get extra hits, to hacking the game to change its genre. I'm excited to see if all these great ideas come together well, so since it's out next month, as long as there's nothing else that I desperately want announced, I look forward to trying it then. With no delays and no real news on it in general, Fire Emblem Three Houses has been extremely quiet since its E3 announcement last year, but since it's a series on Nintendo consoles that I enjoy a lot, I would love to try this game on Switch. I enjoyed the series' tactical battle system a lot in both Fire Emblem Awakening and in its smartphone game Fire Emblem Heroes, but seeing how it could look on the big screen in its trailer has got me pretty keen. And while there's some differences, such as there being small armies following each character when they move, it still has that Fire Emblem style tactical feel that I'd love to try in a newer form. Since not much has been heard since its announcement, hopefully at the very least we get a release window or more information soon, but with plenty of intrigue from its story ideas to the great looking character designs featured in its trailer, hopefully we hear some news about it soon. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what your most anticipated JRPGs of this year are and the one you're most excited to pick up. You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, or you can check out the blog at jrpgjungle.com, and you can find me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at jrpgjungle. Links to those will be in the description below, along with links to where you can pre-order everything I mentioned in this video. Until next time, thank you, bye!